From Temecula and its now many wineries, going north with its rolling hills, ranches, mobile homes, and dairies, there isn't much going on out here in the Inland Empire, the hot inland regions of Southern California.
To think about it was like a movie.
It's a very unique community. The last place you'd expect.
Winchester is beyond the wine-growing area of Temecula Valley, so there are wineries and pastoral hills to look at on the drive through on the way to Winchester. Winchester, California. Come to the tiny old western community of Winchester, a place once called Pleasant Valley. The history of Pleasant Valley and its first inhabitants, the Native Americans, who were here in residence before Spain sent explorers to the west coast of the Americas, before missionaries came north from Mexico, before the Mayflower set sail for the New World, and before Mexico awarded land grants to its California colonists, and before California became a part of the United States of America. Archaeological evidence shows at least 10,000 years of habitation in the area. One remarkable example is the Maize Stone, a prehistoric petroglyph, and there is where we are headed to better understand the intriguing history of Winchester and the Hemet area. The Maize Stone is just outside Hemet in Reinhardt Canyon within the Lakeview Mountains. On April 16, 1956, it was donated along with 5 3/4 acres of land to Riverside County by Mr. and Mrs. Roger E. Miller. It is California Historical Landmark number 557. The government has installed 2 perimeter chain link fences around the petroglyph landmark, making direct appreciation, study, or an obstructed picture difficult. The surrounding land has been set aside for the protection of native plants and animals, with a warning sign that the natural features may be hazardous. In 1914, Miller, a rancher, was surveying his property here and discovered a boulder with a strange maze-like image carved into it. Archaeologists later determined, based on some artifacts found near the stone, that the carving is at least 500 years old, if not even older. However, even today, archaeologists are not sure who made the carving or why. Part of the mystery comes from the design itself. The maze-like design is quite different from other petroglyph designs in the United States. Most petroglyphs are stylized pictures of animals or people, or designs representing rivers, trails, or other natural features. The carving on the Maize Stone, however, is an intricate maze in a swastika-like shape, a design more commonly found in Buddhist tradition. It is also rare. Since 1914, only 50 other similar carvings have turned up, all of them within 150 miles of each other. The maze consists of 2 rectangular boxes, one large and containing the other centered. An archaeologist's theory, one which fits in with a conventional understanding of the history of Southern California, is that the petroglyphs were made by Indigenous Californians. The main support for this view is the similarity between the Maize petroglyph and other examples of rock art in Southern California. The petroglyph of the Maize Stone is known as the Rancho Bernardo style. This style is noted for numerous rectangular shapes made of parallel lines that come together at right angles. The Rancho Bernardo style also lacks figures such as plants and animals and contains only abstract geometric shapes. The art is composed mostly of lines and boxes, quite like the Maize Stone. This form of rock art is found in places in the Riverside and San Diego counties, including the Salton Sea, Palm Canyon, Travertine Point, Sunshine Summit, and Rancho Bernardo. Also, the design's Buddhist symbolism and the proximity of other such stones sparked a theory that they were all carved by a crew of Chinese sailors, shipwrecked in California as early as 500 CE. However, the swastika is also found in Native American art. To the once nomadic Hopi, for example, the swastika represents their wanderings, while among the Navajo it represents the movements of the whirling log, a canoe which a legendary hero rode during a quest. Native American swastika designs turn up on textiles, pottery, and sand paintings more so than in petroglyphs, but their prehistoric use does at least suggest a more local source for the maize carving. Unfortunately today, the swastika is more often associated with the German Third Reich, and the maize stone has suffered some damage as a result. The stone and its surrounding land became a California state landmark in 1956, and sometime thereafter a vandal added a left-facing swastika, the kind favored by the Nazis, to one corner of the carving. The stone is now protected by a pair of chain-link fences, and the surrounding park has since been closed, but the carving is still an official California historical landmark. One problem with either theory is that archaeologists still haven't been able to connect the art style to a specific indigenous culture. However, one culture that archaeologists have suggested as the source of the Rancho Bernardo style are the Kumeyaay people. Many of the examples of Rancho Bernardo rock art occur within the traditional territory of the Kumeyaay. However, it is also found in territories of four Indian cultures in this region, including the Luiseño nearby to the east. To the east from the Maystone are located the Soboba band of the Luiseño Indians, a sovereign people, is one of 6 federally recognized bands of the Luiseño Nation, and there is where we are headed to better understand the intriguing history of Winchester and the Hemet area. The Soboba Reservation is located at the base of the San Jacinto Mountains, bordering the city of San Jacinto. Today's members are descendants of those whom have lived on and occupied the land now known as Hemet, San Jacinto Valley, and Winchester since time long established. On June 19, 1883, the Soboba Indian Reservation was established by an executive order that set aside 3,172 acres of land for the Soboba band of the Luiseño Indians for their permanent occupation and use. The reservation has deep canyons and rolling hills at 1,600 feet above sea level, beginning at the San Jacinto River, which borders the reservation west boundary, and climbs to about 2,600 feet in the northeastern and southern portions. Prior to both Mexican and American settlement in the valley, the people of Soboba were virtually self-sufficient. The Soboba people farmed land that was irrigated with surface water from the San Jacinto River, 2 of its tributary streams, Poppet and Indian Creeks, and from more than 40 perennial springs. These water sources sustained gardens, animals, and orchards. The Luiseño Indians first encountered Europeans acting as missionaries, and the Luiseño allowed them to come through their community because they were literate writers passing through the San Jacinto Valley, where the Luiseño were settled and recorded much of their culture. Along with the missionaries and soldiers, a part of the 1776 Juan Bautista de Anza expedition overland to and through Los California, sponsored by the Spanish monarchy, took Luiseño homeland and claimed it theirs for the San Antonio de Paula Esencia cattle rancho, according to Father Jose Sanchez. The reservation was given back to the Luiseño after the United States government took control of California. An executive order established the Soboba Reservation in 1883. So, that was the very early history of the first inhabitants of this place before it was named Pleasant Valley by the American immigrant settlers who followed. Where did the American immigrants come from? What is the story of the journeys that were endured to settle here in this beautiful valley? Who were they? There is much to explore and learn about this little country town of Winchester, whose location is set as the gateway to the valley of Hemet and San Jacinto further to the east. What influences did those thriving communities today have on Winchester's early development? We'll look deeper into the lives of the pioneers that settled this valley. Thanks for watching. See you soon.